I Am a Virus, Reflections of a Survivor from the Wuhan COVID-19 Crisis. Preface, Forward, Chapter 1, Lockdown Diary. 1. January 23, 2020, The City Runs Bare. 2. February 2, 2020, Delayed Reflections. 3. February 6, 2020, Both Pause and Fast Forward. 4. February 13, 2020, The Turning Point, Chapter 2, Reflections in the Aftermath. 1. Where did COVID-19 come from? 2. The inevitability of viral spread. 3. The Communist Party is ultimately our choice. 4. The essence of collectivism. 5. Why we never reflect. Chapter 3. The virus in Chinese culture. 1. Traditional medicine and national learning. 2. The absurdity of adopting foreign ideas. 3. Our habit of self-deception. 4. Why we are clear on love and hate. 5. The traditional virtues of the Chinese nation. 6. The soil of the Cultural Revolution. 7. The absurdity of the People's Republic. 8. Corruption starts at the top. Chapter 4. The state of China today. 1. The nation of giant babies. 2. Why Chinese people are patriotic. 3. The Chinese version of reverse selection. 4. The source of China's economic miracle. 5. Chinese perspectives on life and death. 6. The unfortunate fate of Chinese children. 7. The Chinese interpretation of freedom. 8. How Chinese view Japan. 9. How Chinese view the United States. 10. The possibility of political reform. Chapter 5. What can be done? 1. Isolating the CCP. 2. The potential of overseas democracy movements. 3. Learning from Japan. 4. USC, the United States of China. 5. The World Alliance of Democratic Nations. 6. Free China Network. 7. Training talent for democratic practice. 8. Nothing is the opponent of love, except love. Afterward, I also have a dream. Preface. In 2002, during the French presidential election, the far-right leader Jean-Marie Le Pen advanced to the second round, sending shockwaves across the country. The French public, shaken by the complacency that had allowed this to happen, poured into the streets, led by prominent figures including football stars, to warn against Le Pen's fascist-leaning ideology. They even unfurled banners reading "Ashamed to be French," reminding the people of their civic responsibility and the dangers of political apathy. Only 17% of voters had backed Le Pen, yet this small, radical faction managed to push him into the runoff, shocking a nation that soon turned out en masse to cast a vote for democracy. French voters understood that silence and indifference only enabled extremism. Through high turnout, they decisively re-elected Chirac, averting what could have been a dangerous turn. This event, even after 18 years, remains vivid in my memory because it mirrors a hope I hold for China, a hope that we, too, could muster the courage to confront the fact that COVID-19 originated in Wuhan. Yet, over the past week, our government has allowed conspiracy theories to circulate, suggesting that the virus may not have come from China, and few dare to counter these claims. Worse still, many Chinese have begun to gloat over the struggles of European nations, even mocking the United States. To me, this attitude is itself a virus, one that is deeply ingrained in the Chinese mindset. Bill Bryson once said, "I write popular science books because I, as a layperson, attempt to understand science and then share it with other laypeople." I quote Bryson because, though I am far from an expert, I am a Wuhan citizen with a burning need to speak to those who do not understand China. I write not as a trained professional but as a first-hand witness to what has unfolded. These days, I find myself focusing less on China's epidemic statistics and more on those of Italy, Spain, the UK, the US, and especially Japan. I hope, perhaps naively, that the Tokyo Olympics can go on as scheduled. Otherwise, the damage we have brought upon the world will feel unbearably immense. It seems inevitable that the world will never hear an apology from China. Like a spoiled child, China behaves as if it has done nothing wrong, refusing to acknowledge, take responsibility, or even face the truth. This denial has emboldened some Chinese to feel smug, as though the pandemic somehow validates the superiority of authoritarianism. Witnessing such a mentality pains me deeply and fills me with a sense of urgency. This unwillingness to confront reality suggests that we, as a people, will only continue to bring harm to the world. When the outbreak first began, I held out hope that this crisis might finally force us to engage in genuine reflection. Yet, within just 2 months, I find myself despondent as the regime exploits the crisis to further manipulate public opinion, rekindling China's cultural flaws instead of facing them. As a Wuhan citizen, I feel an overwhelming sense of shame. I am compelled to speak out to say that we have burdened the world with a tragedy, and for that, I am truly sorry. This book, though it could never be published in China, is my way of issuing the warning from within. I am, admittedly, writing in a state of deep despair, and at times my words may lack coherence, but they are my attempt to blow the whistle, like Dr. Li Wenliang before me. My hope is that this book may serve as a warning to the world against another, more insidious virus, one that is not biological but deeply embedded in the Chinese psyche. COVID-19 spread is merely a preview of the damage that this ideological virus can inflict. It infects not only the Chinese people but also endangers the world at large. Over recent years, traveling to Taiwan, Japan, and other countries, I've been struck by the beauty and kindness of a world where people live freely and with dignity. I hope to visit more of these places before I die, to bear witness to civilized societies and share their ways of life with my fellow Chinese. But now, after experiencing the COVID-19 crisis, I fear that my country, under the current regime, may continue on a path that provokes the ire of the world. If this trajectory persists, China risks becoming an isolated island, and, as a citizen, I too will bear the consequences of that isolation. This book may not represent the voices of many Chinese people, but I want readers to know that today, the last post of Dr. Li Wenliang's Weibo page has garnered over 600,000 comments, with new ones appearing every day. People come to his page to talk to him, as though it were a wailing wall on the internet, a space where they can express what they dare not say elsewhere. Although 600,000 voices are small in a country of 1.4 billion, they represent a part of China, too. I hope that my small voice, as yet another whistleblower, will reach others. I hope it prompts action worldwide to help the people of China, who are infected and oppressed not only by a virus but by the very structure of our society. This fight is not just for us, it is for everyone. No one stands alone in this, for, as John Donne wrote, no man is an island. Ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. I initially wanted to title this book The China Virus, but refrained out of caution. The name I Am the Virus serves as a kind of self-reflection and an expression of accountability. In the end, each of us, individually, constitutes the very system that has led to this disappointment. March 16, 2020, Wuhan, on the 55th day of home quarantine.